We appreciate, again, the fact that you came in for the doors.
I already wanted to make a big school. I can't bus lines, over and high school kids coming over there.
Couple of things.
Don't like the industrial.
If you have a really good memory,
You have beautiful handwriting.
and you can look at the table number you're at right now, stamp it in your forehead, because when you come back next time, those name tags that you guys don't write won't be here. And you can sit down at the same table so you can continue on with the conversations you're having. Okay? So we will all can I get some close though? Give me on elementary concept 3. Elementary concept 3. Okay, you think that's fine. Anybody with elementary concept 3? Table 3. Give me a pro.
It eliminates the two worst buildings.
Okay, just amount.
Yeah, for number 3, it eliminates, option number 3 of pro is that it eliminates 2 of the worst buildings in the district.
Okay. Great thought. The things you have to remember is when I started the whole facilitation project, everything is a yes, everything is okay, and somebody might put the exact same thing on the other side into the con. And don't want to use you, but I'm going to. Because if I'm a fourth generation family that's been in those 2 buildings, that might be a con. Okay? So just so you guys know that once you start thinking, we want you to think through it, and that's perfect. But also think, okay.
We were headed in there.
Oh, you already?
We decided to call the new building Honey.
That's great. Okay. You are right. All right, thank you. How about another pro for concept 3? Anybody have something? How about yes, pro?
It would be designed for today's learning.
Okay, will be designed for today's learning. Yes.
Those who come out to the polls to vote that don't sit through these would still see that as keeping neighborhood schools, and if they were already for neighborhood schools in the past, they would be more likely to vote for it because it keeps the stereotypical neighborhood school.
Perfect. You guys you're on the right way. Those are all great examples. All great examples. All right, let's jump to number 2. Those are the 3 renovation projects. The 3 renovation projects. Anybody have a pro?
Locations?
Locations? Yeah. Yeah. Preserving, similar to what Vicki was talking about, the neighborhood concept as people now see it. Yes?
We had to be able to create better spaces, or by just renovating, still be able to make better
Make
spaces.
better spaces what you already have. Yeah, okay. Good. Others? Yeah, she said that you'd be able to reorganize and make better spaces with the space the shell that you have. All right, jumping to number 1. Building the new consolidated elementary schools for grades pre-K 5. Pros? Cons? I'll take either.
I'll do a con.
Okay?
I was telling this group here, I believe it's Rogers High School in Toledo. They built that beautiful high school a few years back, and it is surrounded by major roads that you don't want children crossing. And if I lived within a mile of the consolidation campus, my kid would not be able to be bused per the guidelines currently, and they would have to walk. And I would not want an elementary school student walking down Fairview Road by Industrial Lane to get there.
So traffic considerations,
However, I
obviously.
could say from a crossing guard, they would have to have crossing guards there, because at the elementaries, we have to have crossing guards. So there would be crossing guards that would have to be stationed.
They do, but how they follow it.
Okay.
We had the high school kids get hit by buses.
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
front.
but that's.
But then you may have sidewalk considerations and flashing pedestrian. I mean, you just have different things that would be part of a traffic study. So, other thoughts?
Union Elementary and
I think just a pro is obviously, we talked about it before, making the classrooms size more uniform as well as services between buildings would be helpful.
Okay, yes.
Sharing of resources, even with a school nurse. Instead of having a school nurse for a couple hours a day at each school, you would have a school nurse.
But definitely the shared services and the school nurses are a great example, yes.
It's cheaper to get a nurse than to build a school.
How long can we employ two nurses?
And what that means is that as our population fluctuates, we might need to have less space, or we might need to add on and have more space. And so I think that makes it a little bit more challenging when we put everybody in one spot, so there's less likelihood.
Okay, now,
So
Yes.
another con is that children aren't really getting known over a longer period of time. You've got the consolidated building, because the way it was set up in the because its concept was 2-year pods. So you had a 2-year principal and nobody was moving around, and it'd be more difficult to really follow a student through their K through 5 experience.
okay. All right, those are, yes, Carrie?
Well, I kind of agree with what you're saying, and I would have definitely agreed when I taught at Ridge. But now that I'm at Crim in this huge building, the administrator could follow, but as a classroom teacher, who I see so many different faces.
I would expect the administrator to follow, but the administrators wouldn't follow the configuration that was offered.
That what?
In that configuration that was
The administrators would not
offered.
follow.
Oh,
Okay.
The teachers did though, correct?
No, teachers didn't follow either. The teachers stayed in their space and the administrators stayed in place. So your kids would be 2 years, 2 years, 2 years.
There are a lot of different curriculum delivery models that in any design master plan, there's going to be some flexibility there that you're going to have to look at. All right, let's take a quick stab at a couple of comments in regard to neighborhood concept. What were your thoughts in regard to what constitutes a neighborhood for you folks here in Bowling Green? Characteristics, anything that you added? Yes. Geographically, okay. And a radius geographically, or by what characteristic?
Probably be by a radius, but things have changed. I mean, they don't have the cultural, ties anymore to small communities that there used to be in larger cities, even in the small cities. Plus, not as many kids walk or drive anymore.
So you talked more about historically what it was, and maybe we need to talk both historically and futuristically. Yes?
I'm just going to say, everything always cycles around, though.
Yes, it does.
What we're saying now is our education and where education is going to be from 10 years down the road. It may revert back in some ways. Also, culture can change. I mean, it's always just going in a circle.
And education, that pendulum always swings.
Does.
And it does, you're right, that's a good point. Yes?
I would tend to disagree that it's not like community-based anymore. I mean, my kids go to one of the schools, and I tend to think that there's a community around that school. So I think there's still like that feel. It may not be as much, but it's still something that we can build on. So.
And if you want to talk about, you're going to segregate a consolidated school anyways, because you're going to have your learning pods. I mean, we're at Kenwood, and I like that we have family movie night. There's, I don't know, Kesha, maybe 100 of us that show up for family movie night, and we have the big blow-up screen, and we all sit there and watch some Disney movie that came out a few years ago. There's popcorn for 50 cents, bottled water, and we just have fun. And it's 100 people, and that's 100 people, maybe 20 families that bring 5 people each. But it's nice, it's a little low-key, it's a little more intimate, but it's for the whole school. Now, if you take all 1,500 and say, hey, have a family movie night, that's in that house.
And I think that's what our group, because we have kind of people all over the board. And at first it was proximity, 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 and then it was smaller schools, smaller schools. But the more that we talked, it's proximity for as many kids as possible. We want a smaller size school. We think that this is what people who say they want neighborhood school means. They want longevity at a building. They want their child to be there from K to 5 so that people know them, because it feels more like a community, which is what you just said, and the kids feel cared for and they feel like people know them. And I think that that is what when people talk about neighborhood school,
Yeah, the
they're talking
longevity.
about all of that.
That's a perfect end and a segue to this. We do appreciate your time. We are looking at December 10th at Kenwood, hopefully, for our next meeting.
Not in the primaries.
On Monday?
That's a Monday.
Monday? Why are we doing a Monday?
Because we were afraid when we got later in that week, we were going to get into all kind of school.
December 10th, the gym will be being used.
All right. And how about the 12th? How about Wednesday the 12th?
Thursday the 6th.
No.
Keep it on
That's before Friday. That's always bad.
Wednesday the 12th.
I
there is
ruin our
nothing on
Friday.
the calendar.
That's bad.
But I know that that's bad because of
That's bad.
Women League voters. No, that's, oh, it's only one, okay.
Well, what about going to Crim on the 10th?
We were planning on trying to hit all three of them.
Well, Crim's one of them.
Yeah, no, I get it. More crime. So, switch to Crim and go to 10th.
Could we pick a different day of the week?
Can we not do Mondays?
We're at your mercy.
I just have to.
You gotta be sobered up by 6.
Well, Kenwood work.
Hiker?
12th at Kenwood work.
In theory.
How many could make it on the 12th to Kenwood? At 6 cans. Okay, hands down, man. Some, I hope you guys know. It's down. On the 10th, how many of you can make it to Kenwood?
No.
Oh, Crim. That has to be at Crim. I'm sorry.
I agree, we want to, the later we get into December, the more you get into Christmas programs and things like that.
Somebody have a
Surprised
quarter?
we're actually doing it. It just gets hard for, like you said,
In January, start by too.
You're good on the 10th? I just wanted to make sure before we know.
We're going to have to move a little fast because the finance piece is kind of waiting
I'm
for us.
flipping a coin. I don't care.
stage of the
All
finance.
right, we're going to go on the 12th at 6 o'clock
Finance, one of those
at,
stuck, the other one is
Kenwood.
Kenwood.
All right.
at Kenwood.
on
Now,
the 12th.
again, Steve will hook these blank ones so that if you want to work between times, you're welcome to. If you don't, we'll be tabulating the information that you gave us and we'll hand it back to you in a typed format so you can add to it. That's why I'm telling you, you can go back into the same group next time. All right, Steve, got one more housekeeping piece?
Yeah, one more housekeeping piece. Questions were brought up last time about going and touring other buildings, new or renovated. We're working on that, and we're told that once we get the details worked out, that the school district will provide transportation. So we do not have a date yet, but we're trying to find opportunities so you can see different kinds of buildings.
Some backs, there we go.
David may bring that up to you again on the 14th when you're here for OFCC. And again, he's going to set up the buses and work with you on scheduling. We'll get you renovated, additions, and new so you can see all three. Thank you. Leave your pieces on the table, please, and we'll get them picked up. Appreciate your time.